Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Mod Warframe. Today I'm going to be doing my first frame review by taking a look at the newest Prime Warframe to hit our arsenal, Nyx Prime. Now the standard Nyx was introduced way back in Update 6 and is the latest to be given a working over by the Hurricane. Now Nyx is a psychic based Warframe with all of her abilities focusing on controlling the battlefield through manipulation of the thoughts of enemy soldiers. Now her first ability, Mind Control, invades the mind of a targeted enemy, converting them to fight for the Tenno cause. Mind Control is especially effective when used on enemies that can help provide support to the Tenno, such as Hurricane or shield drones providing extra shield, or turning high damage opponents such as napalms and attack drones onto their former allies. Now Mind Control is affected by power range and duration mods. And her second ability is Psychic Bolts. She fires bolts of psychic energy that home in on the target, dealing a decent amount of damage, all in slash, affected by power strength mods. Now her third ability is Chaos, where she charges up and then releases a shockwave of psychic energy, instantly confusing enemies within her radius and causing them to turn on the closest enemy to them. While affected, enemies will attack the closest living object to them. However, be aware that if you are the closest living thing to them, they will try and attack you still. Healers will not heal anything except themselves, and shield drones will not project any shields. Now Chaos is also affected by range and duration mods. Now Nyx's fourth ability is Absorb. Now while in Absorb, Nyx projects a psychic field around her, absorbing all the incoming damage while protecting herself inside. Now while in Absorb, Nyx becomes completely invincible and can't be harmed at all. Also, while she's in the field, she is able to regen her shields, meaning that Absorb works very well as a get out of jail card when you run into problems. Now Absorb is a toggleable ability that has an initial energy loss and then a steady drain of energy while the ability is active. Now if damage is sustained during the Absorb, then the extra damage increases the rate that the energy drains, with the base extra drain being 8 energy for every 1000 damage absorbed. Now Absorb is affected by range, power strength and efficiency mods. Now while Nyx Prime has no direct boost to any of her abilities, she does get a boost to her armor value, up to 50 from 15. Now meaning that she's very slightly less squishy than she was before. She also comes with an additional D polarity, meaning that modding her should be slightly easier. Now to go about farming Nyx Prime, there are 4 parts that you need to be obtained. Now the helmet, which can be farmed in Tower 2 Mobile Defense, the chassis from Tower 3 Exterminate, the systems from Tower 4 Capture, and then the blueprint from Tower 4 Defense. To mod Nyx Prime. Firstly, in the aura slot, we're going to go with Energy Siphon to help with her energy abilities. We're going to go with Absorb, we'll go with Chaos and Mind Control, all 3 of which are useful abilities. We're going to go obviously with Redirection and Vitality. And we're going to go with Streamline because it will help reduce the initial cost of Absorb and also the amount that gets reduced from the energy pool when you take damage. It also obviously helps with Chaos and Mind Control. Then we're going to go with Overextended, a little bit more range on the Chaos. And then we're going to go with Flow. We're going to increase the amount of energy we can hold at any one point, because it becomes very useful obviously when you're using Absorb. We're going to go with Continuity, just for a little bit extra duration on the Chaos and the Mind Control. And then we're going to go with Rage, so any damage that you take on your health gets converted into energy, which means then you can use Absorb just very quickly try and get out of trouble. Now, do I feel that Nyx is worth the farm or not? As a Nyx fan myself, having spent around 50% of my total game time on Nyx, I was absolutely over the moon when D announced that Nyx was the Prime that was being released. However, I do feel slightly that the armor upgrade was more of a token upgrade over the original than something that is truly going to make a huge difference. Now, I'm not saying that the upgraded armor value is completely useless, far from it, since she feels a little bit less squishy than she did before. However, I do feel that other primes got much nicer buffs to them that really make them stand out from the non-prime. However, such as the speed of Rhino or the energy capacity of Loki Prime. However, Nyx is not much of a direct upgrade compared to those other frames. However, I still love Nyx Prime. The looks of the frame, plus the addition of that little extra bit of armour, means that she plays very much the same as a standard frame, with a tiny bit more survivability. So would I recommend picking her up? Yes, I absolutely would. Nyx is probably one of, if not the strongest crowd control frame in the game, and any upgrade on an already very solid frame is a direct benefit to any team. Now, the farm can be long and it can be rather difficult, especially the chassis, which the RNG has been rather cruel to a lot of my fellow clanmates. However, she is totally worth it in the end. Now, as to the question of Former, I do recommend Former on her. Now, the reason I've gone with mostly non-corrupt build as my standard build is that without Former you cannot fully bounce out the negatives of the mod effectively enough, and so by trying to force the corrupt mods on and force them to make them work, you can actually reduce the effectiveness of the frame. Now, as always guys, many thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next episode.